2-minute rounds of full contact kickboxing for the ICO Amateur British title match for 65k. Would you please welcome into the red corner, fighting out of the Aero Kick gym, the WKU English champion, Anthony Byrne. Would you welcome his opponent into the blue corner, fighting out of the Hastings Kickboxing Academy, the IKF and WKU champion, Wright. Five 2-minute rounds for the ICO British title. Byrne in the red, Wright in the blue.
So the title fights keep coming. This 5 2-minute rounds for the amateur British title at full contact kickboxing. Anthony Byrne from Aero Kick in the red. Dan Wright from Hastings Kickboxing Academy in the blue, and both men champions already in their own right. And southpaw stance for Byrne. He's a powerful kicker, Kasim.
That's it.
And Dan Wright looking to walk him down. Now, I've seen Dan Wright on a number of occasions, and he's a very fluid kicker himself, but as you can see, Burnsy has got a height advantage.
Yeah, and he is using his range well.
And that's the thing, not everybody uses their natural talents. He is, and I said, Dan is a fluid kicker, but I think he's going to have trouble tonight getting inside the taller man.
Yeah.
Again, Dan looking to close the gap and getting close, but that rear leg of Anthony Byrne is really powerful when he lets it go.
It's a nice combination there, going from body to head.
And the thing for Dan is he's got to get inside Anthony, but he's got to do it cautiously because you can see the power, and as we said, he's got good technique as well, so when he closes the gap, he's got to be first. And he's got to work hard once he's there. And there's the problem, as you saw firsthand. It wasn't particularly powerful, but it's as you're coming in, you're going to get caught on the way in by the southpaw.
That's it.
It happened again, Kasim. What I worry for Dan Wright is when he comes in, he looks to come in and still throw his rear right leg, but when you're against a southpaw, that extra time it takes, he needs to work more off his lead leg when he's coming in, because both times he went for the rear leg and was countered.
He's been countered, yeah. I think that was a good round from the red corner.
Yeah, as we said, it's one thing to have the advantages, it's another thing to know how to use them, but he did well, didn't he? And for Dan Wright, I'd like to see him far more sideways on when he's trying to get in and then get in work, because the 2 times he was in danger is when he came in through the rear leg, which brought him into range of his opponent, but it's also slower as well. He needs to be sharper coming in. So 2 of 5, they touch gloves. And Dan will look to get inside, switches from orthodox to southpaw, then back to orthodox. And it seems instinctive for him to throw that right leg.
Yeah, and then Anthony's keeping him off with that long side kick.
Yeah, it's a good tactic. He's got that long southpaw jab as well. Then comes into the body. Nice work. This is where Dan needs to be, but as we've seen earlier in the night, to get there you might have to take punishment. And again, good work in the corner. They said to Dan, set that up. They mean that rear leg. You can't just throw the right roundhouse. He's got to set up with something first.
I think Dan is spending too much time just trying to follow Anthony around.
And he knows about the back fist. That's frustration.
Yeah.
And you're right, Kasim. He needs to set up that rear leg if he really wants to throw it. But you said you can almost see the thought process, can't you?
Yeah.
And he's getting caught while he's thinking.
That's better. He needs to keep him there.
That's right. Once he gets inside and once he sets it up with those hands, the leg can follow underneath. But you see, if I was Anthony in the other corner, the moment I see that little foot switch to his own side, well, you know that Dan wants to throw that right. That's when you can step in and preempt him. He is giving you a little bit of knowledge as to when he wants to throw that right.
I think Dan is thinking too much about what he's going to do than actually doing it.
Just out of range again. Anthony Byrne, good foot movement to take him out of range, comes through with his own rear leg from the southpaw stance. That's better. That's when you come in fast and you've got to work. Byrne responds well. But Kaz, that was a case in point. No thought, straight movement, caught the man cold. And with those long legs, you'd think you'd like to see more from Byrne, that front push kick that almost went straight into the jaw of Dan Wright.
Yeah.
You'd like to see more of that, but as it was, I feel that Anthony let Dan back into that round.
Yeah, he did. I think Dan does have to put the pressure on him this round. And start fighting at his own rhythm and fighting at Anthony's rhythm. Because
we saw from there that, I mean, when he used it to effect, that lead leg and the height he can get it, because Dan's naturally shorter as well.
Yeah.
He could really keep Dan on that back foot, worried about where that placement of that foot's going to be when he's coming forward, and then push on after. But he hasn't exploited it as much as he can, whereas we saw signs late in that second round of Dan coming to grips with the distance and getting in close.
Yeah.
So the midway point, 3 of 5, and in the 5-round ban. How aware were you when you got to like round 3, Kaz, that how important that round was?
I think with me personally, that would be when I'd start to step it up.
And this is what Dan's trying. It's better work. He's getting in. He's getting that right hand going. He's getting inside the taller limbs. And once you are inside, the longer limb man, it is a disadvantage to try and kick and punch.
Yeah.
You don't get the leverage once the shorter man's inside you. Whereas we saw there, as long as you stay on the once you stay on the outside, the leverage is there with you. Dan's going to make no fuss about that. He's almost saying, now I'm ready. He'll be given time while Garth has a quick word with Anthony. And they go once more. And it's energy consuming, but you'd think if Anthony stuck behind, because that side kick is very good, like a jab. If he stuck behind that and the front push kick as well off that lead leg, and that jab like that, he could really make this a hard night's work for Dan.
Yeah, I think Anthony should be looking to step it up himself now and start building on top of his single techniques.
Yeah, that is a point there. The techniques are single. It's almost like he's keeping him away and happy to score points in doing so. Whereas Dan, as you can see, trying to get him down, trying to get inside.
So I think Dan needs to work from that range once he gets there.
Well, once he gets inside that lead leg, his right hand does work well. He's just got to get it there more. Spinning back fist from Anthony Byrne. And good talk from the corner of Dan Wright. Did you hear that? You can't just kick like that. You must set it up. So virtually through the 3rd round, and I feel that as the bout's gone on, I've just seen Dan Wright clawing his way back into this.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what he's thinking. I think he needs to just close that gap and just stay on him and not give Anthony that time to throw that single technique.
And when he does get inside, there's a little right hand that Dan throws that gets through quite consistently. There's not real power to it, but it's getting through. And I think as the rounds have gone on, he's become more comfortable and more confident. It's almost like he's figured out how to get inside that taller man.
Yeah.
Now Anthony in his corner down looking over, breathing quite heavily, put a lot of effort into the first. And we know just how much effort it takes to keep someone away with your legs.
Yeah.
But like you, I'd like to see him, once he's done that half the job, to step in and then put the pressure on afterwards to stop. The other way you stop Dan coming in is to push him back.
Yeah. I think that where Anthony is getting success with his single techniques, I think if you start building combinations on, I think he will break the heart off them.
Because at the moment, there's been times when Dan's been able to slip inside that lead leg, throw that right hand from the right position, and do good work. But I feel if they were both fighting to the maximum of their potential and the tools they've been given, it should be, and no disrespect to Dan, it's just because of the size at the weight, a far easier night for Anthony if he uses those tools very effectively.
Yeah, I think Anthony's comfortable with landing them single clean shots and just doing enough.
As you said that,
back fist.
I couldn't have said it better. And then suddenly, it's like he's heard us, Kaz. Suddenly turns it into the offensive. He's going to warn Dan, I think, for holding the ropes. I thought Garth was going to warn him, but no. But that was exactly what you were on about with Anthony, wasn't it?
I think if Anthony does keep the pressure on him like that and start throwing in combinations, he could possibly get the stoppage.
Well, he sets it up with that lead leg and gets his man off balance. And for the first time in this round, he really came forward and looked to capitalise on it. And Dan knows where he needs to be, knows what he needs to do. And that right hand for him is the danger now. If he can land that clean as an uppercut, he can change this around. Anthony spun not quite conclusive enough or with enough conviction for me. But again, it's making Dan think, and that was a nice little combination, Kaz.
So you think this is a better round from Anthony?
Yeah, he seemed to suddenly spring into life and use the techniques more fluidly.
So that's where Dan needs to be.
And you heard Anthony's corner saying, don't get lazy. I don't think it's laziness, it's like the sheer fitness needed to keep pumping out that lead leg and pumping it out and keeping a man away. But with his height advantage as well, if he needed to rest those legs just like that, he can use that right hand. He only got in trouble when he switched to orthodox stance there after throwing the right hand. And Dan did capitalise on it. Which makes it interesting for me, Kaz, because this was Anthony's round all the way until that moment.
Yeah, good strong finish from Dan there.
Now, Kaz, that was strange for me. I was just about to say, if you're finding it hard off the lead leg, he's still got that long lead arm. He pumped out the double jab, then switched to orthodox and got caught clean.
Yeah, I think this round, I do think Dan will be going all out on this round.
Yes, I think Dan does need it. It's a close fight, but I think Anthony is across the course of the 2 minutes taking the rounds. But I mean, the thing for Dan is he's got through with that right hand, but it needs to be a conclusive one. It really needs to be a right hand that's snappy with the uppercut or with that hook when he gets in.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what Anthony does, whether he comes out like he did in round 4, which was all guns blazing early in the round, and then just ease off a bit. That's when his corner said, don't get lazy. I think it was fatigue, not laziness. But I'm interested to see how he comes out for this final round. How far the corner think he's ahead, what he's got to do.
He's gone into orthodox again.
Yeah, that amazes me because obviously it was from the opening round. He's a very natural southpaw, and the only trouble he had in the bout was when he switched to orthodox stance. So Dan has to negate that lead leg. He has to get in and has to get round it to work. And it's that right hand, if anything, that will do the damage for him. And I don't think it benefits Dan when he switches to southpaw to try and get in with that right hand. It's not as a benefit as he thinks it is.
Yeah, I think Dan needs to work on cutting the ring off instead of just following him around the ring.
You're right, he's getting clipped as well. When he's following, I mean, there's some subtle work going on from Anthony here that's clipping Dan as he moves him as well. And you heard the corner say, shut him off. Don't chase him, shut him off, corner him, cut him down, don't waste your energy. That's the right hand he wants, but he's not giving himself the leverage or the maneuverability to land it cleanly.
Yeah, it seems like he's switching stance at the same time that he's throwing it.
And it's not helping him, Cass.
No.
So the clock's ticking on this bout, and I think for both men it's a matter of what could have been, what if. I think Anthony, when he watches his back, may think, do you know what, I could have gone for the stoppage. And Dan, when he watched his back, would have said, do you know, I think there was a way in where I could have landed that big right hand.
Yeah.
Oh, the spinning back fist. But again, slightly telegraphed. You need to step in and punish him for that. But I think out of the two, tactically, Anthony's done the right thing in this round. Kept it at range, kept moving, kept kicking out. You mentioned before how many single shots he throws, but he's keeping safe, he's scoring points. And I think that's going to take him to the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 hard-fought rounds, please. Both good kickboxers in this ring. But we do have a unanimous decision, and the ICO British title belt goes around the waist of the man from the red corner, Anthony Byrne.
Thank you for stepping in as well. That's